Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And thank you for tuning in to catch another edition of My Drift. And joining me in studio today, Ypsilanti Ed. Ed, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You know, if you haven't listened or heard Ed on this show or the old Bill Bennett show or any of the other shows, you must not be listening enough, because Ed is a longtime caller to hundreds of shows, it seems like, all over the place. And you've been a long-time listener with us, so I was glad to have you come on into the studio and talk with us a little bit today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, great having you.
Try not to embarrass myself.
No, never did, never. But let's take care of a little business. Our sponsor this half hour, Claves Marina, 734-426-4532, or you can go to their website, www.claves, Klaves, marina.com. And that's located at 8789 McGregor Road out there in Pinckney. If you're looking to buy a new boat or used boat or do rentals or get service on your boat, fall is coming, so you need to do fall layups. Make sure you call Claves Marina, 734-426-4532. Or go to clavesmarina.com. Easy enough to see everything they got out there. They'll treat you right. Okay, so my big thing this week, Ed, and we talked earlier in the week. Let's first say why we talked this week. I lost a bet to you.
Oops.
On Tuesday, Paul Ryan overwhelmingly won his seat back, which I did not think. I thought it would at least be close. It wasn't even close. I think he had 65% of the vote, right, out in Wisconsin. So we're stuck with Paul Ryan. He's still not it's not like he's the devil incarnate, so I'm not going to say that. But, you know, the one thing that did come out, and I hope this is true, I've seen a couple articles on this, that it shook Paul Ryan up enough to have Neyland campaigning against him that allegedly TPP will not be on the table.
Yeah, that's true.
So I hope that happens, because for me, that's a big one of the reasons I like Trump. I'm done with seeing. I've been in the manufacturing now for quite some time, and I'm done seeing jobs leave the United States of America. I'll pay more for a car. I'll pay more for a TV. Build them here instead of sending our jobs away. You know,
without local wages, without decent wages. I mean, who's going to be able to buy what's imported? No, we have to build it here, and it's part of our, like you said before, part of our national defense. I mean, the arsenal of democracy.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have trades. You have to have people who know. I mean, I'm a skilled tradesman by history. Yeah. And you have to have people who know how to work with their hands and build stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, as a maintenance manager right now, I'm finding that it's hard to find maintenance guys right now, guys who know what the heck they're doing. And that's because the base has gone away so much.
Yeah. Yeah, skilled trades. I've always said this. You know, they push too many people into college. We need vocational trades. We need skilled trades. You know, not everyone needs to go to college. I mean, if you can come out of high school, go into a trade, get your training, and become a journeyman with this, that, or something else, you're going to be making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, you know, depending on whether there's overtime involved or whatnot.
You'll make more than that.
Yeah.
I know my brother, I hope the IRS isn't listening, but my brother makes more than I do as a manager. And I got guys that work for me make more than I do because of the overtime and the wages they make.
Yeah.
If you're a good skilled tradesman, there's money to be made.
Right. Well, I'm glad to see that at least TPP suffers out of that election in Wisconsin. So be that as may, we'll get that to another day. I really wanted to talk today about media bias, right? And I wanted you to come in because I'm a pro-Trump guy. I make no apologies for it. You are a supporting Trump reluctantly, right? For you, it's the lesser of two evils, correct?
Yes.
Which is the way everybody should look at it. If nothing else, look, I'm not a stupid man. I understand Trump is rude, bold, misspeaks, whatever, flip-flops, whatever. But he's nowhere near as bad as Hillary Clinton.
Nowhere.
You know?
Nowhere.
And any of these never Trump people, all I can say is 8 years of Hillary Clinton you will lose your Second Amendment rights. And once they do that, they're going to be so emboldened because she's going to fill the Supreme Court with whatever. She's going to take that step with the FCC and fill it with, it's supposed to be half Democrats and half Republicans. There's nothing that says it has to be. If she puts a Republican, it'll be a rhino. She's going to go with the FCC, reinstate the fairness doctrine, which means shows like this will probably go away because half the shows on any radio station will now have to be liberal.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
You'll have the FCC in your studio like they were doing a few years ago
Yes.
when Obama first came in, right?
Yes. If you think Hillary Clinton is not going to fundamentally finish what Barack Obama started, you are out of your mind. And so you have no choice. You can take this Gary Johnson, who happens to be open borders. People always want, Gary Johnson, you libertarian. I heard him in 2 different interviews say, yeah, we got to have open borders. I'm like, what are you, still high? Did you smoke something from the clinic? What's going on? Open borders is not what we need right now.
Well, Gary Johnson has no problems being high. I mean, he posted, I just had 2 doobies this morning. That's what I want. 2 doobies and the football. Yes, sirree.
Yep, and Jill Stein for green weenies, whatever. It's fine. She's probably a nice lady, but
and what happens is, everybody has been saying anybody but Hillary, and it's not anybody but Hillary. There's only one person but Hillary.
Yes,
it's the anybody but Hillary is a falsehood. It's got to be Trump.
Yeah, it just spreads it out. So anyone that votes for anyone else or sits at home, you are helping Hillary Clinton get elected, and you will be responsible. I mean, those people that stayed home and didn't vote for Romney, you are responsible for 4 more years of Barack Obama that we're finishing up right now. There's no other way to look at it. People say, no, if I'm just not going to vote. Actions or inactions all have consequences. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you want to sit home and think you're not going to be part of this, you are part of it by default.
Yep.
That's crazy. Well, we wanted to fact check a little bit about Donald Trump, and the media is just hammering him on every little word he says. And part of this is, people understand the media is worried as all get out about Donald Trump because they are part of that establishment. They are part of the GOPE. They are part of the Democrats. And I think they know that when Donald Trump is in office, he might just bypass the media, just go right to social media or come up with something different and just go right to us, which will take the power and the money away from the media too, right? So they're scared. And I think that's part of it. So let's start with the founding of ISIS, right? That Donald Trump made that statement. And I think he said it earlier in the last year as well that Barack Obama is to blame for ISIS. Well, he is. But let's listen to this, Derek. This track, the first track there, Obama talking about Hillary and Obama founding ISIS, just so we can refresh ourselves.
We unleashed fury all over the Middle East, and it was a terrible mistake. And then Obama came in, and normally you want to clean up. He made a bigger mess out of it. He made such a mess. And then you had Hillary with Libya. So sad. In fact, in many respects, they honor President Obama. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. Okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. Co-founder, crooked Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting. I heard him interviewed on Hewitt the other morning, and Hewitt was quite down on him about the founder comment, just pleading with him to walk back from it, giving him every way he could possibly back away over and over. And Trump refused to back away from it. And then later, I guess he tweeted the next day, oh, I was being sarcastic. These people don't understand sarcasm. Well, I got to say, to me, sarcasm is when you say one thing and you really don't mean it. So I think Donald needs to understand what the word sarcasm means. But at the same time, he's got a valid point. I've heard people, I know an intelligence guy, he's in the Middle East right now serving, and he's privy to information he can't really share, but he hints at stuff. But one thing he does, he goes back to the roots of who did found ISIS, and he does not want to vote for Trump whatsoever.
Okay.
And And he points out, so-and-so founded ISIS. He gives the whole history. And I said, yeah, but really, when did it blossom? When did when did the rest of us first hear of ISIS? And it was basically under Obama. So, and under Hillary Clinton and their policies. Before that, there may have been technically an ISIS.
Right.
But really, the enabler, the startup of ISIS, that was... Did Obama, was he a founding member? Did he sign the charter?
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, what this comes down to, it's not sarcasm. For me, it's a Trumpism. A Trumpism is somebody saying something that is awkward, uncomfortable, and maybe not quite accurate, but it's the gist, right, is what he's getting. So what we do on the Daily Drift, on this show, we talk about the stuff we put on the Daily Drift. One of the articles I put on the Daily Drift this week comes out of Breitbart, right? And thanks to Judicial Watch, they're saying Trump is correct, and quite literally so. First a document, then some history here. Thanks to Judicial Watch, we now have an August 2012 Defense Intelligence Report on the civil war in Syria and the situation in Iraq that openly states that the policy of the United States and its allies to support the Salafist opposition to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is the reason where ISIS came from, right? Mm-hmm. The opposition at the time, spearheaded by al-Qaeda in Iraq and the Islamic State of Iraq, ISI and AQI, soon morphed into the Islamic State of Iraq. And we were supplying weapons to them. Okay, so when you say found, well, they blossomed under him. They were founded underneath them. They drove from being the JV team to being the varsity squad, and quite quickly. So I don't think founded is an unfounded word to use.
Nobody knew who ISIS was until the Obama and Clinton administration, right? Nobody. So that's when they were found.
Yeah.
So they were founded under the...
Started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably odd for him to say they honor him. I don't know that any al-Qaeda or ISIS people honor Barack Obama, but I bet you they're kind of happy with his policies because they're not really, other than the occasional bombs we're dropping, we're not doing anything to stop them.
Well, they really like all the weapons we left behind for them in a neat little package. They were thrilled, but thank you.
And that drives me insane because you know what? I've always wanted a Hummer. I want the Hummer that the military. I don't want that H2, H1, whatever. I want a Hummer. Bring those home. I'll buy one.
With the Modus on top. I mean, that's the option you and I can't buy is the Modus on top and the armor plating, I want
the armor plating. Yeah. With the roads we have in Michigan, I need that.
Oh, man.
Right?
Clear traffic.
But, bring them home. People will buy them. Take the gun turret off or whatever.
No. I want the gun turret.
I want the gun turret, too. But, I've always wanted one. People will pay for that here. Don't leave them there. We can sell them to somebody here in the States and sell them to the police departments. National Guard.
Their equipment's all worn out.
Yeah, even if it sits at a National Guard base for 20 years and never gets used, at least bring it home.
Hopefully.
I wouldn't mind spending my money to bring home military equipment.
Yeah.
And leave it here for our National Guards to have. I want to have I want people to be so scared of ever invading our country that it never even broaches a thought, like Yamamoto, not attacking the United States in World War II.
Rifleman behind every blade of grass.
Yes, that's the way it should be. So I don't think he's wrong in that, and what bothers me the most is the way the media just plays on every little word of his. They're trying to silence him by demonizing. This are all Alinsky tactics, right? Let me take a quick call here from Will in Ypsilanti. Will, welcome to the show.
Hey, Gary, thank you so much. I love listening to you guys. You guys are just so much fun. I lived for that on Saturday, so.
Oh, great.
If you don't mind, I'm going to go back just for a second when you guys were talking about
skill trades.
Education.
Yep.
So one of the things that a friend of mine was stationed actually over in Germany, and one of the things that they do in Germany is they actually have a point to where they get the students and they figure out where they really should be and what area of occupation they should be in, whether they go to university
or
something else. Here we tend to pull everybody, you got to go to university for a job. But there they say, okay, you're very good as a mechanic.
Yep.
So we're going to send you to these trade schools here, and the people that need to do, want to be doctors and so forth, you're going to go to university. And I think that is one of the most wonderful systems because everybody is where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because you know what? I think we used to do a better job of that in the United States. Listen, I took voc ed classes in school, right?
Yep.
In junior high.
I did too.
And then one of the jobs, me and a buddy, Tony, one of our jobs was to rebuild a mower, right? Everyone had to find a used mower and bring it in and rebuild it, So Tony and I took this thing completely apart. We cleaned it all up and put it back together. It looked great, and it didn't run, And the teacher looked at us and goes, "Yeah, you guys suck."
That's what we call a learning experience.
Yeah, and we both laughed and we said, like, "Yeah, we're not mechanically inclined. It looks clean though, So we used to do that, and I don't think we do that anymore. We've gotten away from it.